Got some records that I've recently bought to show you today. 2 that I opened and I've already listened to from a Discogs seller, and then 2 more that have just arrived in the post that we can open together, of a fashion. Here also from Discogs Marketplace as well. So I'll show you the first bundle or couple of records. You can't really call 2 records a bundle, can you? Both from an act that, as regular viewers of my record and vinyl community videos will know, I've been collecting this act, this duo, quite a lot lately. And it's 2 more albums for the Yellow collection. The first one is their 3rd studio album, You Gotta Say Yes to Another Excess. I listened to this a couple of days ago, enjoyed it. Not really an awful lot to show you regarding this album, as it's just an original issue. I think this might be an Italian pressing, looking at some of the copyright info on the back. What's interesting for me is this is the last Yellow studio album to feature this chap here, Carlos Peron, who left Yellow shortly after this album was completed, and then Yellow have been the duo of Dieter and Boris since then. Carlos Peron, he was an original Yellow member. They were a trio for the first 3 albums. Decent album. Couple of tracks I was familiar with. Lost Again is one that I'm very familiar with, as you can hear that in Planes, Trains and Automobiles, the amazing John Candy and Steve Martin movie. If no one's ever seen that, then what's the matter with you? What are you doing with your life? It's one of the best comedy films ever made. So there we are. Yeah, that's all I've got to say on that one, really. And also for the Yellow collection is this album from 1987, 1 Second. And I listened to this today, actually. Put it in one of my own protective sleeves, as I did the other one. So this will be Yellow's 5th studio album, I think. I've also ordered some more Yellow records, so hopefully there'll be at least a couple more coming to me in the very near future. All from Discogs. These 2 together, including postage, pretty good price, I think. Not much more than £10, I believe. The sleeves and everything, pretty good condition. The records themselves, like I say, I have listened to both of these, and very little surface noise. I don't mind a little bit of surface noise on a vinyl record. You kind of expect it. I don't know, it just adds to that sort of warm analog sort of feeling you get. Anyway, so yeah, a couple more Yellow records. Not really anything to show you regarding them, apart from the fact that I've got them. So let's get into a mail opening from another Discogs seller. These aren't Yellow records. These really are kind of impulse purchases, particularly one of them. The other one was still fairly impulsive, but I was threatening to get an album by this band for a long time, and I've finally gone ahead and done it. And the other really impulsive album in here is one, I have got some albums and a single by this artist, but she's not someone who I would say I'm a massive collector of, but I'll pick up some of her stuff when I see it going cheap, and it was going cheap. But I'll explain as I get it open. I don't know if I need my knife here. Might possibly. Just be a little bit careful here. I don't want to dig in too deep and end up slicing any of the actual discs. What I tend to find with Discogs sellers, and if any of you are wondering about Discogs Marketplace and whether it's a safe place to buy, from my experience, yes, I even prefer it to eBay and a lot of the sellers, although you don't get photos of the actual listings generally. If you want to contact them because you want to see actual photos of what you're buying, a lot of the sellers will be happy to accommodate that, and they'll send you some photos privately. So let's get these 2 discs out. Ah, marvellous. Both come in like a plastic bag here. I'll show you this one first, as it's been separated out. The other one is actually brand new and sealed. This is the latest addition to my Madonna collection. It's the soundtrack for Who's That Girl? Now technically this isn't strictly just a Madonna album, it's classed as one, and when you go on Discogs and look at the database, Who's That Girl soundtrack, and I've never seen the film by the way, apparently it's a bit ropey. This is classed as a Madonna album, but it does feature other artists on it. The artists on it I've heard of that are on this album are Club Nouveau and Scritti Politti, and there's a couple of other artists who I'm not familiar with. This will be an original release, I think. Looks in really nice condition, actually, for an album that is well over 30 years old, getting on for about 33 years, I think. So very happy. I've got the Madonna albums, Like a Virgin and True Blue. So I'm sort of picking up Madonna, not looking for her particularly, but when I see her going cheap from a seller who I'm buying from already, and that was the case with this, I wanted the other album that I'm going to show you in a minute. Then it said you can get up to 3 albums from us with no extra postage to pay, so I thought I'll have a look, see what else they've got, and this was $2.99. I thought $2.99, it's classed as in very good condition, it looks it as well, the sleeve certainly, and like I said, I do have Madonna records, a couple of her albums already, and I'd be happy to pick up more on vinyl record as and when I can find them cheap. So there we are, Who's That Girl? And there's some singles by Madonna on here that I like, such as the title track, such as Causing a Commotion, The Look of Love, which was a ballad, I believe. So some stuff on here that I'm familiar with and that I like, and also some other stuff from other artists as well. I've just noticed there's one thing on here that's even produced by Stock Aitken Waterman. Not a Madonna one, it's from Michael Davidson, Turn It Up. So yeah, it's kind of a various artists album, this really. It's a soundtrack album. Really happy with that for $2.99. I don't think that's bad at all. So this is the sort of big, not in size, but in kind of the main event, if you will. I've been thinking about getting an album from this band for quite some time and listening to a bit more of their music on YouTube. One of the biggest bands in the world, really. I've owned CD singles of theirs in the past. Don't have any anymore. And the only release of theirs that until today I've owned of theirs was the 7-inch single New Year's Day, and that came in a mystery box that Abigail Barry sent me last year. And I decided quite recently, you know what, I want to get an album. I wasn't sure which studio album to go for, so I thought, well, let's see some of their greatest hits on Discogs Marketplace and see if I can get a good deal. And this one, brand new and sealed, $11.99. It is U2, the best of 1990 to 2000. So I thought $11.99, postage was something like £4 or something, and then I managed to get Madonna from the same seller, $2.99, and no extra postage. My first U2 album, they've only released like sort of 3 greatest hits compilations, and this was the one that was the cheapest to get from another UK seller. Obviously some big singles on here from the 90s and noughties. Beautiful Day, great song, love that. Stay, Far Away So Close, one of their sort of more early to mid 90s tracks from the sort of Zoo Roper, Zoo TV era. Another brilliant track. Stuck in a Moment You Can't Get Out Of, I love that. Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me, which a lot of people who I'm friends with will be familiar because that was the theme to one of the Batman movies. Now, which one was it? That would have been Batman Forever. Yes, Batman Forever, the Val Kilmer one. And it's got some tracks on here that I'm not familiar with as well. So yeah, as a greatest hits goes, although it's missing out all the 80s stuff, because obviously that was on the best of 1980 to 1990 album, I'm really happy to get this at what I think is a brilliant price. It's 2 discs as well. It's a gatefold sleeve. I do like a gatefold. I won't get it unsealed because the discs themselves, they are heavyweight. Apparently there's a digital download code as well, so I'll get in touch with one of my friends and see if they want that code once I've opened it. But I'm not going to open it and show you now because there's nothing really to see. My first U2 album. I like U2 generally. I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan. Some of their stuff I find a little bit on the kind of sanctimonious side. I think that's sort of Bono's permanent kind of charitable philanthropist personality shining through, where sometimes you just want to say, alright, just make some good music. And of course there was all that brouhaha about, what, 6 years ago, when they decided to give everybody their album for free if you owned an iPhone or some sort of Apple product. And everyone was so offended by it. It didn't really bother me. I didn't want the album, but I didn't care that Apple had sent it me into my iTunes for free. But a lot of people were really annoyed about it. So yeah, U2, they're not everyone's bag, admittedly, and I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan, more of a casual fan. But a casual fan tends to go for the greatest hits kind of things. Would I get the 1980 to 1990 one to kind of complete the set? yeah, probably would if I see it going cheap somewhere. But for now, this will certainly do, and I think there's probably going to be more on this one than on the Volume 1 Greatest Hits that I enjoy anyway. Although the Volume 1 Greatest Hits will feature probably my favourite U2 song, Sunday Bloody Sunday, which is one of my all-time favourite songs. Anyway, there we are. That was some records, a couple from Yellow, one from Madonna, or Madonna plus other various artists, and a brand new and sealed gatefold 2-disc set from U2, all from a couple of Discogs sellers. Thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed this, and of course, many thanks as always to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, and I've listened to Yellow, probably listen to Madonna next, and then U2 best of 1990 to 2000 right after. And I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next vinyl record mail opening video. Cheers everyone. See ya!